Do you ever feel hopeless, that life is not worth living? Have you considered ending your life? Questions like these are designed to help NHS professionals assess the patient's risk of suicide. Do they? We are meant to identify what patients are trying to achieve with their behavior. Is it a cry for help? Are they running away from something? Or are they trying to feel something themselves? It is complex. Clinicians and healthcare managers face multiple dilemmas every day between patients' own desire and circumstances, clinical need, available resources, and legal obligations.
Because of certain difficult childhood experiences, Jenny found it extremely hard to trust new people. Despite this, she had built a trusting relationship with her therapist back home, but unfortunately this person retired. So when she moved to a new city, she was referred to a new community mental health service, unable to trust new people when she was already so anxious. She didn't attend. Instead, she started showing up at the emergency department because she was self-harming, or she'd go up to rooftops because that was the only way she could think of to seek help. She was referred to the personality disorder unit, but there were no available beds. She had been admitted before, but once inside, she'd often continue self-harming. She felt accused of being disengaged and using her silence to manipulate staff, when actually she was really struggling to express herself. This reinforced her existing belief that staff didn't really care about her. Her negative coping strategies were then triggered because this was the only way she could get relief from her overwhelming distress, which she couldn't express to anyone. Hello, I'm Mary. Shall we get you home then?
Risk assessments can help to build a narrative about the patient. But without developing strong rapport and gaining holistic knowledge about patient circumstances over the course of care, clinicians' responses can be counterproductive. Reading nonverbal communication and finding out more about patients' family, friends, and other professionals takes time, which most clinicians struggle to find. But it is often essential to fully understand the clinical need and to allocate whatever resources are available to save the patient's life.
Jim, it's Dawn, the matron. Jim, your phone is ringing again. Aren't you going to take it? How are we feeling today? I'm sorry, we're going to have to ask you to move beds today. How about a little walk outside? Well, it's a beautiful day.
Want me to move beds again?
Come on, Jim, let's stretch those legs a little.
What's down there?
Oh, nothing, Jim, it's just the end of the corridor.
I'm never getting out of here.
Oh, this room is very warm. Perhaps you'd like to take a shower. It'll probably make you feel better.
Will you, can you please tell my wife I'm sorry? I'm sorry, I ruined everything.
Why don't you tell her yourself, Jim? I'm sure that was her calling earlier. I'll give her a call back, Jim.
I lost our house. I probably need to go to a food bank because of me.
Jim was his family's breadwinner until he was made redundant and couldn't find another job. He blamed his family's subsequent financial hardship on himself. He spiraled into deep depression. We believe that the clinical needs of the patient should always come first and that the limitations of the resources should be dealt with separately. But in this instance, the resources that Jim needed failed to materialise several times. Jim had lost weight, the antidepressants weren't working, or he wasn't taking them. Well, seeing that the situation at home had become unmanageable, the GP decided to refer him for admission to a hospital ward. It's now been 3 months.
Previous services expected Jenny to call when she was struggling, but that was when she was unable to speak. However, she could write, so we exchanged text messages. I would text to check if she was okay. A quick reply was a good sign. Prolonged silences meant she was probably struggling. If Jenny had self-harmed, she would text me. I could contact the emergency department and tell them she was coming, or take her myself if it was serious. Knowing who she was meant they didn't just see her as an attention seeker. By understanding Jenny's circumstances, our team could ensure that she had all-around support, including from the police. More importantly, she would seek our support when she needed it, which meant that a rapport had been established.
We acknowledge that some people, We can't stop them from self-harming. When Jenny was sectioned, she still managed to smuggle sharps to the ward and self-harm, something she took full responsibility for. So patients can share responsibility for their risk and their treatment. This positive risk-taking allows patients to have some control over their treatment and recovery.
Jenny already had clear ideas about what worked for her, and she could direct staff as to what she needed. She had a chat with a consultant about medication, where she understood that she shouldn't be given too much because she could self-harm. Jenny was contributing to her own assessment.
So we have a new admission coming in and we're full. Have you read those notes I gave you?
Gym, antidepressants, haven't had much effect. Refused ECT. Spends most of his days in bed.
Anything else?
Well, he's been here 3 months. Isn't he at risk of being institutionalised?
Even the family are asking that question. Here's another question. Do you think we should send him home?
Well, we do have other patients and they do need caring for, but he's high risk. So if we did send him home, it might send him over the edge. And after all, he is...
It's our responsibility.
Wait, where are we going to accommodate the other patients?
But you were with me yesterday.
That was actually last week. Come on, it's just a little walk down the corridor. Careful.
Oh.
You're okay, Jim.
It's the end of the line.
You know, Jim, you should take a shower. It would make you feel better. Isn't your wife coming today? You want to be presentable for her.
Did you ask him to have a shower? I ruined my family's finances. What did you do?
I'm not a patient here.
Managers in healthcare often face a dilemma between the risk of discharging patients too early and the pressure to admit new patients needing urgent care.
I received a call from the security attendant. Jenny appeared to be struggling. I instructed the security attendant to direct Jenny because she would be too distressed to know what to do. I called my police officer colleague and I got there as fast as I could.
Jenny, this isn't safe. Please, walk this way with me. She's been up here for hours.
Okay, Jenny. Come on, stand up and just walk towards me. We'll go back inside. We'll get one together, okay? Come on, Jenny. Just walk towards my voice. Just take some small steps towards me, and then we'll go back downstairs.
After a friend committed suicide, Jenny convinced herself that it was okay for her to jump off the rooftop. Unlike previous occasions, she didn't walk away and could not be dissuaded. kept debating to herself that she could do this, jump, that it was okay. In the car, Jenny was still debating that she could jump, that the NHS had planted a chip in my brain, programmed to keep her alive, and then immediately apologised. She wasn't going to stop that night, so I signalled 136 to my police officer colleague. We were probably going to section her.
Managers often face a dilemma between the short-term and long-term benefits of their decisions. Providing a 24/7 support to patients like Jenny with a small, interdisciplinary, well-coordinated team can be viewed as costly. But when you have someone going to the rooftops, this usually means a huge police response, roads blocked, negotiators, accident and emergency calls, internment, calls to the crisis team. Put this together and it is a considerable cost to society. Mary called her manager to say that Jenny couldn't keep herself safe and that she thought she needed to be sectioned. Her manager supported this decision straight away, as well as the need for Mary to remove herself from the scene while it all took place to preserve the relationship of trust that she had built with Jenny.
After that episode, I went to see Jenny. I said, okay, that happened. How are we going to deal with it? She became very positive. She wanted this to be her last admission, and we worked towards that aim alongside the staff on the ward.
Good morning, Jim. Jim? 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 Where's Jim?
This morning a nurse said that he wanted a shave in the shower. And then this morning I just couldn't find him.
Good morning, Dawn.
Mind if I asked what changed?
I reached the end of the ward, didn't I? There was nowhere else for me to go. You can only go so far. So you have to make a decision for yourself. I had to do something.
In the end, the consultant thought that Jim was finally responding to the medication. The psychologist believed that it was therapy, but the nurses connected his positive mental shift to the situation of him getting to the end of the ward, in that his bed was the furthest from the ward entrance. But nobody really knew for sure. This made us even more aware of the need to discuss cases amongst peers, but also to communicate clearly with patients. After all, Jim could have gone either way. What if reaching the end of the ward had meant something drastically different for him?
Clinicians do their very best for the patients with the limited resources available. We keep the trust in the clinician's expertise, ensure time and space for peer support, and enable their adaptive capabilities so that a holistic safety management approach can continue to be adopted.